Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to go ahead and review a fragrance from the house of Bvlgari. The fragrance we're going to touch upon today is called Man in Black. Now, Man in Black was released last year, the year 2014. It got quite a bit of hype or fanfare, especially within the fragrance community. And from the house overall, this, I believe, was supposed to be the fragrance that was celebrating their 100th, or the House of Bvlgari's 100th anniversary. Now, they haven't been making fragrances for that long, but they've been doing other things, and this was to commemorate that occasion. Now, the fragrance is available in two main sizes, in 2 ounces and 3.4 ounces. The 2 ounce is going to run you about $72, and the 3.4 is going to run you about $92 retail. So it's a little bit higher on the spectrum for designer fragrances in terms of price, but the question is it worth it? Is it worth it compared to what you're actually getting? All right. So with that, let's go ahead and get right into the fragrance. The notes of this fragrance consist of, at our top, we have rum and spices. For our mid, we have leather, tuberose, and iris. And for our base, we have gaiac wood, benzoin, and tonka bean. So there's some rather simple notes here throughout, and when I saw the notes, even before I smelled the fragrance, I thought, I think I'm going to like this one. I like fragrances generally that have those alcoholic notes, like rum, like gin, like it really doesn't matter what type of alcoholic note that I like in it, but I do like that tinge of the alcohol. And it's not the same necessarily alcohol that you get when you spray a fragrance on the first time and you smell, the straight up alcohol, but more spirits. I like spirits being added in as notes to fragrances. So the rum note on this really intrigued me, and I instantly knew that I was probably going to like it if it remained consistent, and no surprise, I do. When you spray this fragrance, first thing you get is a blast of spices. You get spices, you get a little bit of a rummy note. The leather comes out in this fragrance pretty well, and tonka bean. Now, I'm not a big fan of tonka bean, but I found that in this fragrance, they don't overload it with tonka bean. So you can definitely smell the tonka. That adds a little bit of sweetness to it along with the benzoin, but it still remains not too sweet of a fragrance. It's got a little bit of sweetness, but not too sweet. The fragrance reminds me of two fragrances, really. It reminds me of Spice Bomb or actually it reminds me of one fragrance, which is Spice Bomb, and a couple other elements of some fragrances here or there that kind of pick up and remind me. But it reminds me of Spice Bomb, a little bit of a toned down version of Spice Bomb, a little bit more mature of a version of Spice Bomb than what Spice Bomb is. Now, once the fragrance kind of is on your skin for a while, it's going to get a little bit of a powdery feel from the iris. Once that powdery feel kind of recedes, that's when the fragrance goes away, and that's about after 7 to 9 hours-ish. But overall, you just get this rummy spiciness that is absolutely fantastic and sits closer to the skin. The projection on this one, like I said, sits closer to the skin. It's about average projection. It's not a monster powerhouse fragrance. I would say it like a little bit less. I put it like right here in terms of its projection and sillage. So it's pretty much occupies your personal space, which is great. And I thought that the strength of this fragrance is really one of the bonuses and the powerhouse. And the real strength of this fragrance basically is that it sticks with you. It's not really ever going to be too cloying to people around you. It may become too cloying to you, but not to people around you. So it creates a nice little bubble around you, which is awesome. Great sillage on this scent. It does leave a nice little scent trail behind it, and again, 7 to 9 hours. I go about 3-4 sprays on this. That's where I found the best bang for your buck with this fragrance is 3-4 sprays. Any more than that, you can start choking other people out, and more importantly, yourself out a little bit more than that. Now, the occasion, I think this is a great and perfect occasion or perfect scent for the night out. This is a night out scent. This is a scent that you can actually wear to work as well too. I would go a little bit easier on the sprays just because it is a little bit more of a, I guess you could say, like a night out fragrance, like a party animal fragrance for that, or not party animal. That's a bad word. I put Spice Bomb in that category, but not this. This is more of a gentleman. You've got your suit on. You're dressed well. You're dressed to impress. You're going out and you're having cocktails. You're having drinks and just enjoying the night basically. And that's really what Man in Black kind of gives off the figure of. It reminds me in a lot of ways, sort of like a Tom Ford fragrance, but obviously it Tom Ford fragrances kind of go in a different way out of this one, but absolutely fantastic. So if I'm actually going to categorize this scent, I'm going to call it a spicy rum leather scent, right? With some woody undertones. So season-wise, though, now because of the fact that I think this has average projection, I think this actually can work well for a year-round fragrance. Very similar to how Dolce & Gabbana The One is a scent that I recommend year-round. I think it doesn't have the projection enough to really choke people out, so I think you can wear it even in the summer. This kind of goes along those lines. It's a little bit more powerful than that, and I don't think you will have too many projection issues or anything with it, but along those lines, I do think that is a great fragrance for a year-round occasion. All of that said, I don't think it's a good fragrance for younger people. I think you have to have a little bit more of a mature air to you, and if you are young and mature, then I think you could actually pull this one off. But if not, I would stay away from this fragrance because it might smell a little bit strange on you. Compliment-wise, this fragrance got a lot of compliments, and by a lot I mean 3 within a span of 7 days, which is a lot of compliments for a fragrance. It prompted such comments as, "Wow, you smell great. What is it that you're smelling, or what is it that you're wearing, and where can I get it?" Those were the 3 actual comments that I got this one. One of them was solicited though. I came into a room basically, and they happened to be talking about fragrance because we were talking about something else for work, and we switched off to my fragrance channel. They were like, "Oh, what are you smelling? What are you wearing? Because you smell good." So that's kind of like a solicited compliment. It wasn't within the flow of normality. It just happened to come up with my channel. So take with it what you will. All right. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance a rating. The rating that I'm going to go ahead and give this fragrance is a 9 out of 10. I think this is an excellent fragrance from the House of Bvlgari. It's a really solid release, and it's got many positive points to it. It's a perfect gentleman fragrance. It's a fragrance that you can pretty much wear on most occasions. Going out, gentlemen, you're not going to really offend people. It's a perfect, what is that word that I'm looking for? It's perfect performance. There we go. It's got perfect performance that I want out of fragrances and colognes. I want things that are going to have projection, but not have too much projection, and at the same time have lasting power, and that's what this fragrance has. It's a compliment getter, which is another power point for this fragrance, and again, smells great. Downside to this fragrance is a little bit more on the expensive side, and there are other fragrances that kind of have this similar vein or similar DNA. They don't do it necessarily as well as this fragrance, but there are, kind of other fragrances and substitutes. There are, just other substitutes that you would want for it. So if you have any questions whatsoever, please, on this review, feel free, leave me a message, send me a note, do whatever you got to do. Thank you, take care of yourselves, and you guys have a great day.